Welcome to Stayf Draws. I'm Stayf de Groot, a Dutch artist, and in this video I'm going to discuss this painting, and it's a painting called Beach Dudes, and it's inspired by a work of the great American artist Edward Hopper. I was working on an exhibition for a museum, and I posted some videos about that, and I'll leave links in the description box down below. But in order to paint a big panorama with a lot of people, I needed to study people on the beach. So I went to Zandvoort Beach, and Zandvoort Beach is near my hometown Haarlem, and it was in the summer, and I just took some snapshots with my iPhone, just random shots to see people in their natural habitat. And I always do that a little bit sneaky because it's a bit awkward, and it's also for a reason, because when people know that they are filmed, or if you take a picture of them, they will act differently. So I just wanted to have the stolen moments when people, are just in their natural habitat and just are being themselves. So I painted this painting, and that was a painting of three guys sitting on a bench, and they were about to skate, or they just skated on the boulevard of Zandvoort Beach. And when I was working on this painting, it reminded me of a painting I saw of Edward Hopper. And Edward Hopper was an American painter, and most of you may know him of Nighthawks. That's his most famous painting. But I saw another painting when I was visiting a friend in San Diego. He had a poster, and I didn't know that it was an Edward Hopper painting. And the painting is Groundswell. In this video I'm just going to explain how I painted this painting of Beach Dudes. And I'm just going to go over how I did the setup, and I used a different technique to make this painting work. I started out this painting by doing a thorough sketch. I first made a sketch, and then in Procreate I went over it and defined it a little bit more. And usually when I paint something, I just start out with the bigger strokes, or the bigger shapes to fill. But for this painting I wanted to approach it in a different way. And what I was very interested in, and what I saw in Groundswell by Edward Hopper, is the way he paints the human body. And in Groundswell the sun is coming from the front of all the characters that are sitting on the sailing boat. That will cast a shadow on the back of the human form, and then you get very interesting colors. I wanted to approach it in the same way, but here I just started out doing the details. Most of the time I just start out by painting in the bigger shapes, and then slowly go more detailed. But for this I used an approach of another great American illustrator, Norman Rockwell. And what he did was just establish the sketch, of course, and then just paint in the details. So I'm starting out with the blacks, to really get the details right, and just concentrate on parts of the painting instead of paying attention to the overall design of the painting. An interesting thing about the sun is that it will cast different kinds of shadows. So when you see the wall the three guys are sitting behind, on the bottom of that wall there's the darkest shadow. And there's also some light coming from the ground, from the tiles that are behind them. And they cast a shadow or some light onto the white parts of the fence they're sitting behind. And the tiles are a bit brown orange like, so the sun is hitting the pavement and then it will bounce back to the wall the guys are sitting behind, so that you get, you know, different kind of light sources. There's never one light source when you're painting outside. And especially of the white bench they're sitting on top or on the rim of the bench, there's the purest white. And of course, you know, with drawing or painting flash, you know, you have different tones. And I did this painting a little bit like a study, you know, just to see what will happen if the sun is coming from the front, and it will cast a shadow on bodies from behind. So the colors are a lot more muted. And what I found very interesting in the painting of Groundswell is that it was very graphic. And I found a little book. It's a fun little book. It's in different languages about the life and work of Edward Hopper, and it just highlights some of his paintings and how he started out. He started out as an illustrator, so it made a lot more sense to me that, you know, the way he paints, because it's realistic, but also in a more he has a more of a graphic approach to painting things. It's a little bit more simplified than, you know, pure realism. And I also try to capture that in this painting of beach dudes. This was a very hot day at Zandvoort Beach, and the sun was really blazing. And interesting thing about shadows, you know, shadows are cast, or especially when you're painting the sky, and, you know, a lot of children always ask, why is the sky so blue? Because it is a reflection of the ocean, and the ocean is the biggest part of the world. And because you're at the beach, you have a lot more of blue shadows, because you have the reflection of the sea. This is the North Sea, and of course the reflection of the sky. So underneath the bench, I painted the shadows a little bit more in a cooler tone. And when you work around, you know, with warm tones like the flesh of the bodies of the guys, and of course the brown tiles, these are all warm colors. And when you use blue, you know, then you will enhance the warm colors a lot more. I also wanted to pay an homage to Edward Hopper, so I also painted the little sailing boat on the right, and in the sky I used the same kind of clouds, you know, just it's a little wink to Groundswell. So in this way I painted this painting, and I did a little bit of a different approach. It was a great test to, you know, see what happens when you paint people in the blazing sun. And in this painting, of course, the sun is coming from the left, so everything to the right is cast in a shadow. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like it, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because each time I upload a new video, you get a notification. Drawing is fun and practice makes perfect. See you next time. Doodles!